Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode 3.5.
Yeah, officially.
It's three for us, 3.5 for Shamel.
I accept that.
He won't let that first episode go.
Nah, we did that. Even though y'all sounded gross, we did that.
That was episode 0.
That is true.
That is true. We use 0 as the numeral that it is.
Listen, y'all didn't bunch together for no reason at a table.
Oh, going behind the scenes now, Shamel.
Wow.
Hey, they saw it.
I am your host for today's podcast. This is BJ, a.k.a. William Shamel. Fellas, introduce yourself.
I like that one. This is Luis Jonathan.
I am Shamel.
And I'm Aaron, a.k.a. A.A. Ron.
A.A. Ron.
Wouldn't it be... Oh, wait, you got the 2 other...
Yeah,
Shut up.
Yeah, it would not be that, but we got to just let it slide.
When I was a kid, a lot of people called me Enron because that was the big thing in the news, you know? But don't call me that.
Enron made the list of evil, right?
Yeah.
The axis of evil.
The axis of evil.
Good shit.
I was in 4th grade looking at him like, this motherfucker is stupid.
Well, who's stupider? But,
You were judging?
Already told us what he was about.
You were judging the Enron guy?
Listen, Dave Chappelle told us what the politics was about back then. They was out there trying to steal oil. You saw. He said, "Oh." That episode was not funny. All right, sorry.
So we actually got a good show tonight, fellas. We got some good topics, man. There's one or two topics we can really spend all fucking night on. But let's start with this first one. Now, we all pretty much grew up playing sports. I don't know about Shamel. Shamel looks a little... We don't know about him. He looks a little fragile.
I grew up in a low-income neighborhood, so
Shamel like art class.
Facts and music, because we was watching 5 Heartbeats. But let's keep it going.
oh, man.
But, me and Lou definitely grew up playing football. And, when you think about it, we all have kids.
Ankles don't work now.
Shamel, you got kids you know of?
He said,
His ankles go out every 4 months.
Yo, that...
No, I did that
He's
one
right with
time.
that. Because I remember back in the day, Lou would just walk and fucking sprain his ankle.
Yo, we were playing basketball. Yo, Lou. All right, that was the only time I give you actually had a reason to roll your ankle.
Oh, wait, that was when we were playing basketball and someone Hail Married it. And I stepped on your foot.
Nah, it wasn't me. It was...
He said, no.
Was it me?
Yeah, that was you. No, you threw the pass. I stepped on someone else's foot.
I might have threw it. But you went up like a wide receiver.
I had to. It was way too high. I'm short as shit. Oh.
His foot said. His foot said. Yo, it's not funny, but it was funny though. It was funny.
That shit hurt. I was laid up for a while with that. That was probably the biggest I've ever seen my ankle swell. Like,
yo, you were still walking around the ranch though, DJing. DJ Lewis in the building.
Hey, you gotta make that money.
Booth, can't leave the booth, but he in there.
Oh, I couldn't get out. Couldn't do the hot nitro. None of that. All right, Flo held me down. DJ Flo.
DJ Flo. Yo, DJ Ray. Rest in peace.
So fellas, with everything that we know now with CTE and, head injuries and everything else going on, is there something you think we would, if we could go back to when we were kids, do you think it's something we would still play? And, we got kids. Are we okay with our kids playing it? Aaron, you go.
Yeah, Aaron, you.
I remember. So, all right. So I had ADD as a kid, right? So my parents got me involved in karate or taekwondo or whatever at first. Okay, and that's what I was. That was my after school shit to get all my energy out, so I didn't, tear the house up after school because I was crazy. And when I discovered football, that went out the window. You know what I mean? Like, because I was already getting in trouble. I was hitting people I wasn't supposed to be hitting and punching girls when we were sparring and all types of stuff. And when I discovered football, when I was brought to football, Pop Warner, the Wappingers Giants, like Pee Wee class or whatever, that was it. It took over. You know what I mean? And I played from then to my senior year, every year without fail, And I absolutely miss it. Sometimes I miss it, And it's funny, I didn't like watching football when I played football. I had no interest in watching the NFL. But then once I couldn't do that anymore, that's when I started really watching it. You know what I mean? And nowadays, thinking about it, and I've had this conversation with other people because I have a son, and he's not like me. You know what I mean? He's not sports inclined. He's more like Shamel. And he is. He is.
I love sports.
No, but he's
didn't have a big organization for it.
He's got a different type of swag, my kid. You know what I mean? He's not interested in sports.
So you're saying he has swag?
But if he was, if he said to me, "Dad, I want to play football," honestly, I'd let him play. And me personally, I'd let him play. And here's why. Nowadays, we are all connected internationally by social media, right? The news networks are all pretty much national news now. You know what I mean? So when we were playing football, we didn't hear about the kid in Texas who broke his neck at the homecoming game. And we didn't hear about the this and the that and the, you know what I mean? It was still happening, but it wasn't in our minds, so we didn't care. And our parents didn't care, So just because it seems like there's a lot of it happening now, I think it's always been this way. And the odds of it, did any of you ever experience or witness that sort of a traumatic injury throughout your football careers, your childhood?
What are we saying? Traumatic injury?
A neck injury, or a neck or back injury, first of all, or
what have you seen a bone
someone who was severely concussed, like someone who had to leave in an ambulance after a real bad hit to the head. You know what I mean?
No, I can't say I have.
I personally have. I had 2 vertebrae broke or cracked in my neck.
You did?
Yeah, from a head-to-head hit. This is before. This is before they even really paid attention to all that.
You kept playing football after that, right?
Absolutely.
Are we going to sit here and say that we think we've gotten concussions? Because I'm sure I've gotten concussions.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
But I've never went to the hospital or anything for it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, confirmed. But you have the ankles, the jammed fingers, even broken fingers, stuff like that. But we weren't properly taught how to hit. We thought, putting your head down and whatnot.
That all came later.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could play.
You're right, because when we was playing, the coaches would purposely tell you, put your head down and fucking go at it.
Yep. Put your head in that kid's chest,
It's the crown of your helmet now, and it's like...
we still talking about Pee Wee, right?
The ultimate.
Even as Pee Wee, I never. All right, so did you guys start with flag or any sort of non-contact? Because I went straight into full padded contact.
Yeah, I started in modified.
Okay.
I played flag for 1 year, and honestly, I didn't get to play tackle in Pee Wee. My brother did, but I didn't get to. And I didn't play again until I was a freshman in high school. So, and that's where I really, I always liked football and was like, I don't know why I didn't get to play or why I didn't play in middle school and whatnot. But, I played freshman year. And I remember going out and I'm like, as a fan, you kind of know what's going on and whatnot. it didn't take me long to get a hang of it, but it is awesome, man. I just remember that feeling of just going out there and doing it. But even as a young kid, and BJ and I both coached, like Pop Warner football and whatnot, and had really good success with it. But even just putting those kids through like some of the drills we used to do, like, I don't know if the drills you do in practice are worse than, game hits, but, it can get vicious. Even as a coach, I'm like, all right, wait, you can't put the little kid against the bigger kid. And because even when we played in high school, we would do that. You would try and line up with a certain person you didn't so much like and this and that. But no, and I know growing up, even just watching my brother play, there weren't coaches that were that like vested into it. It was just like, yeah, just hit the other person as hard as you can.
Dude, when I played for Wappagers Middle School, there was one of the assistant coaches was a kid who had recently graduated from Ketchum High School, and he came in one day and he still had all his gear. He came in with the Ketchum helmet, the shoulder pads. He came with his practice jersey, and he just destroyed all of us all day long. They ran every drill. They ran us against him in every drill. And it was, it was an 18-year-old kid just smashing 13-year-olds all day.
18-year-old man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And as a coach, you're giving that mindset to the little kids. If you can take this hit from this 18-year-old, when you play this game against these 13-year-olds,
destroy these other kids.
It ain't gonna be nothing.
Oh no,
so I can understand that. But
that was one of my favorite days of practice. But
I can understand the logic of that. But when you look back at it, that's not fucking smart.
Wait, so did he run offense the whole time? Because that's different too.
No, what I'm saying is they ran every he hit every single kid on the squad, as in they did the King of the Hill or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was just him against the team. And we took our turns, you know what I mean? And then they put him in the middle of the ring, and the coach would point at who he wanted to hit him, and he'd you know what I mean? It was really just about let's bruise these kids up, let's toughen them up. Yeah. You know what I mean? All right, answer me this question, you guys.
I don't know nothing about that.
After a certain amount of time, I started to realize that I didn't really bruise anymore.
Yep.
Did you But then I would notice kids who in military school, it's my junior year. I've been playing football since I'm 8 years old, right? And now there's these certain kids who are trying to play football because it's going to look better on their fucking college fucking application. You know what I mean? That they played a varsity sport at some point in their, Yeah. And so you got these seniors coming in, and I'm noticing, I'm like, this kid's, why are you so bruised? Why are you being beaten in your dorm? And they're like, no, it's from football. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I feel like your body just gets attuned to it after a while. You know what I mean?
I feel like I didn't get that many injuries. I didn't do none of that. Pee-wee, no modified. I'm straight hit in 9th grade. That was the first organized. But I didn't bruise like that. I think I just moved a lot smarter. I wasn't throwing myself. That whole put your head down, boy. This is my first year. I'm good. I kept my shit up.
I didn't shy away ever, and I'm sure BJ, never once. Did I shy away from a hit.
Me, I don't know if you guys, but like you were saying, you kind of get numb to it after a while. The first few times, because like Shamel, I played, 9th grade, and before that, I played flag. So but after that, the first few, or you just get used to it, or you get numb to it, you actually get a rush. You go for that big hit. You want that high impact. You want to,
and
give the opponent a beating, legit.
And sometimes if you catch one, if you end up on the receiving end, it just stokes that fire. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you're getting up when you get ear hold and your feet leave the ground, and then you stand up from that, you're like, who did that? And where is he going to be in the next play? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Playing lineman, I think it's a little different in terms of injuries because it's more chop blocks.
Yeah.
That fuck us up.
Yeah.
And
my knees are done for.
And that's where the bulk of my injuries came.
For you fat shits out there that think chop blocking is cool, man, kick rocks. It's not your fucking toe. I hated that shit.
No,
I hated being on the line just because of my stature.
Yep. The worst was...
Well, Shamel, look at it like this. That shit hurt you, and you're what? 200 pounds soaking wet?
Yeah, imagine 250 pounds.
Now imagine 253 plus of somebody getting their knees cut down. So that's all their weight now coming down on their knees. Yeah, it's a little different.
You want me to feel sorry for you? Because
I want you to.
I play.
We all hurt out here. This fucking sympathy card. You say, what if you have 50 more pounds on you? You're like, man, that's your fault. Like, too many chicken patties. Fucking talk about it.
Hey, you had to do what you had to do.
I played center all of high school. Like, that was my position. And I remember getting in trouble junior year in the military school, and they took me off the starting roster and just started playing me on scout against the second string kid, because they couldn't bank on me being allowed to go to a game, because sometimes as punishment they'd say you can't play, right? So they put me on the scout roster as nose end, nose guard against the this fucking 10th grade center. You know what I mean? And I disrupted every play, every practice. I disrupted every play. And I remember the other, the backfield, the fullback and the quarterback, they're like, Coach, this isn't fair. Hoare knows the plays. You know what I mean? He plugs every hole. He does this. And I just remember going to the coach and being like, Coach, I don't know how else to say this to you, but I don't know anything that's happening behind me. Yeah. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, when you call option C, I don't know what the fuck that means. All I know is that that's a run play in the left direction. And on the count, I'm going to put the ball in this kid's hands, and then I'm going to push to the right if there's somebody in front of me. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what is going on. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, he's like, but I remember the coach being like, are you kidding me? I said, no, I swear to God. Like, for 3 years, I don't know what's happening behind me. If there's somebody in front of me, I hit them towards a direction that I think is the right direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was the same way. My whole playbook, because they kept wanting to throw me on the line, was a waste of time. It was like...
Wait, so you played on the line?
Like D-line, though. Never O-line, because that shit was boring. But D-line, mostly. O-line was really trash. Unless they let me do something, like, when the right guard pull or something, I didn't want to do nothing else. If I couldn't use my speed, I didn't want to do it.
I hated pulling. For some reason, I just hated that.
That was the only time I wanted to do it, because I might get the chance to take the ball, just in case the weak-ass running back messed up.
All right. Let's get back to the actual meat of the conversation, though. So BJ, right? Do you have any kids that are coming up? I don't know how many kids you have, but I know you have.
My son will be turning 1.
Okay. No, but all right. But do you and Janine share other children? No. Okay. All right. So if your son comes to you and says, "Daddy, I want to play football," will you hesitate?
Nah. All day.
Yeah.
All day. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. The little man doesn't have a fucking choice. He's gonna play this shit regardless.
Nice.
He doesn't really have a choice in the matter. So
that's crazy.
Honestly, all the things that could happen.
Right.
But it's not a guarantee that that's gonna happen.
Right.
And football builds character, man. It toughens you up, and he needs to have that little bit of structure in your life.
Some of my closest friends I have to this day, I met on that on that Pee Wee team, that first team. But
what about you? Let me ask you: Have you guys, besides like concussions or anything else, like broken bones, have you guys had any injuries from football?
Homecoming game, senior year, I got a stress fracture to my left anterior tibia, and that's what ended me playing football. I didn't play football again after that. I did play rugby when I lived in Ireland a couple years later. But yeah, I had that. I got stitches on my chin. My jaw got fucking destroyed one day, and it's still not right.
Balls. But keep going. you keep going.
Shamel, you said last episode you don't pause for nobody.
I said that?
Pause for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you said you don't
that.
pause for no one unless you feel the same way. So you felt the same way?
Yeah, unless it's relatable to you.
You said your jaw got destroyed. I just felt it was only right.
My fucking bottom jaw got wrenched.
Look, listen. No matter how much you try to, it just sounded like it needed to be said. So I said it for you. I was really, if anything, I'm using Aaron's voice. So if it's in transcripts, it would be in parentheses, Aaron voice, pause, because it needed to be said. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
And obviously I smashed on my fingers a ton of times, all types of stuff, you know. John, you said you damaged 2 vertebrae?
Yeah, I cracked 2 vertebrae in my neck from a head-on shot. Literally, I ran full speed with my head down, exposed to crap. So did the other kid. And then you know, it made it worse for when me and Lou was playing, because when we was playing, we ran a wing T option. So we had no choice but to fucking do chop blocks to people and all this other shit.
No, you did have a choice. And
you were just diving at their knees, right?
Nah, that's the game plan, bro. That's the blocking.
Football and head-to-head shots and whatnot. What we know now, we didn't know back then. And literally, that's what you were instructed to do, playing that.
John,
what's up?
If you have a son, and he says, "Daddy, I want to play football,"
don't count Mac out. I just want to say that.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, no.
You know what? Yeah. Let's look at, you know what, in today's world, that's a fucking perfect point, Shamel. If Mackenzie comes to you, if Matt comes to you and says, "Daddy, I want to play football. I want to try out for the football team,"
I would let her. A few years ago, I might have had the same stance as BJ. Like, even if I do have a son, I'm kind of going to leave it up to them. But I'd have been years ago. I'd have been on BJ's stance, like they're playing no matter what. That's it. But I kind of saw with my my nephew. My brother kind of tried forcing him to play, and it's just not his thing. He didn't want to do it, and I remember my brother was so upset. We were all upset. Like, we grew up playing football there and in the same town and all that other stuff, and he just didn't take to it. So I was like, listen, man, just kind of let him do his own thing. You know, I thought he would go back to it. Didn't go back to it. Ended up playing baseball, and he's excelling in baseball. You know, it's something he likes. I kind of thought at first, I was like, maybe he's just not the athletic type, you know, but he's awesome at baseball, man.
Listen, baseball players, they take offense to that. They just as athletic. They don't show it like that, but
I didn't mean it in the sense of they're not athletic.
No, we all know that. Most baseball players are animals.
Not being athletic like me after he didn't want to play football, like maybe he's just not into that. I mean, he wants to just sit home and play Fortnite. But, you know, he's good at baseball, you know, and it takes a lot to be good at baseball. But if my son, daughter, include, you know, Mac wanted to do it, that's on them. I'd fully support it, but I wouldn't be the way I probably thought I would react years ago. No.
So, all right. So I've always said this, and I stick by it. You know, whatever my son wants to do, I'll support it. You know, if he says, "Daddy, I want to take piano lessons," I'll do that. If he wants to play basketball, baseball, football, soccer, whatever. If he says, "I want to do karate," like, I'm in it. You know what I mean? If he fucking comes to me one day and says, "Daddy, I want to go to dance class," I'll do it. You know what I mean? I'll support whatever he wants to do. How do you guys feel about that kind of stuff? You know what I mean? Like, BJ, if your son says, "Daddy, I want to be a tap dancer,"
I'd be like, "You could be a tap dancer, yes." And then after you get done, you're gonna get your ass on that football field.
Yeah, that's right.
So, he can do whatever he wants, but football's gonna be a part of that.
That's good. That's good. I can't hate on that. I respect that.
All right, I don't have no kids, but I'm gonna talk. Fuck that.
You will have kids. You will have kids.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm
Yeah.
dodging it. I'm dodging it right now. But I'm with that. Whatever they want to do. Football, I do believe is character building, but like all sports, I think football is just one of those mainstream hit you in the face that's not boxing. But yeah, I'm down for it all. Whatever it is, tap dancing. Put that shit on TikTok, little nigga. Yeah, it could be whatever though. I'm down for it. Anything that's organized, character building.
Honestly, anything my son shows passion for, I'll endorse. You know what I mean?
No, not anything.
You know what I'm saying? Any extracurricular activities?
Though, I'm talking for me. I'm just saying, not anything. But character building, you know, you want to sell some weed? Do it. On everything, whatever they want to do, I'm just going to try to teach them to play it smart, whatever it is. Don't get hurt, don't get caught. That's all sports, right? Don't get hit, don't get caught.
So what do you think? We think we exhausted this topic?
Yeah, I think it's good. Anyone else got anything else to add?
No, I think it's pretty good. We covered that pretty well.
All right.
I mean, moral of the story is, I mean, don't count football out. I'm all for football.
Right.
Pro football.
Word. All right, moving on. At least no Lou did. Did any of you guys catch the UFC fight on Saturday?
I did, but on my way home, you know, lack of Wi-Fi, lack of connection, I couldn't watch that Lewis fight, which is the very last one.
That was an awesome fight, and
that was like the worst.
You missed a good fight.
Is that the one? Is that the one afterwards? He said, "I got to make a boo boo."
Is that one?
Yes.
Oh, he just said, "I got to take a shit."
Yeah, he said, "I got to take a shit." Yeah.
Oh.
No, he's a problem. I remember when we saw him in Albany.
Yeah.
He was awesome, but I was kind of like, he won't last long. He kind of, his body was a little sloppy. He got gassed very easily, but he came in. He lost a lot of weight. Like he's shredded now, and he's actually he's a serious contender in the heavyweight division. I was talking to DJ that night.
He's ranked number 3 or number 4.
Yeah, that night he went in at number 4, 3 or 4. Anyway, we were texting that night, and I was like, "Damn, he should get a title shot." I'm like, the winner of what's his name, Cormier, how do you say it? DC, and Miocic, he should get that fight. He looked good, and he's working on.
This is the thing. He's already fought for a belt against Cormier, and he didn't look good. That's not saying he can't come back and beat him.
That's what I'm saying. He looks good.
Cormier has already said that if he wins this Saturday, he's going to retire.
Yep.
So Lewis should be
next in line.
Here
we go.
To fight for that vacant belt. He should be.
Yeah. Is Lewis the one who, after the in the post fight interview with Joe Rogan, however many fights ago?
Yes.
Joe Rogan, he goes, I gotta sit my ass down, do some cardio. I can't even talk to you with your fucking questions right now. He was so gassed after the fight. He didn't even care what Joe Rogan was saying.
He said that, and then he was like, he was like pulling his pants out.
Oh yeah, my balls is hot.
My cardio is terrible.
Yeah. I mean, and then in that interview, he's already said he's not going to fight again until he loses like 15 more pounds.
Right.
So
he fucking smashed that guy's face, though.
And he's smart.
In that fight, though, it was a ground and pound against this big white dude. The 2 or 3 punches he got in before the ref called it, he was fucking hammering.
And that dude was good. That fight was like his 76th
exactly. But the crazy part is,
he's fought mad times.
Yeah.
The crazy part is, they were saying he could beat Lewis, and he's dangerous on the ground if he gets you in that headlock. You know what I'm saying? They were like, it's over. And Lewis came out and just beat him up on just standing. And then as soon as it went to the ground, it looked like he was in trouble. Like he had it in. The guy was squeezing as hard as he could. But Lewis is just so big and much. All he did, he had his arm caught in there, and it was just. Listen, I watched Brock Lesnar's first.
That guy is he's a submission wrestler. He's a submission guy, but he's not a wrestler. Lewis does not do really good with wrestlers.
He had him in the move that they said if he got Lewis in that move, it was over.
It's over.
Yeah. It didn't.
Well, I mean, he has a big fucking head, broad ass shoulder. It's gonna be, especially the move he tried to get him. It's gonna be very hard to try to submit Lewis with that shit.
Yeah.
I watched
Brock's first fight.
So I appreciate y'all recapping it.
I watched Brock Lesnar's first fight actually today with him and Heath Herring or whatever. It came on just scrolling through Instagram. And I remember at the time I was like, he's a wrestler. He's not a real fighter and this and that. Just never really given him that respect. But the only person, like Lewis was smashing that dude's face in today and just the sheer size of him. I got that watching the Brock fight. Like, Brock is humongous, but he was ridiculously fast. Heath Herring was a reputable fighter at the time, and Brock just went in there and just manhandled him. Like, heavyweight division's in trouble with Lewis.
Yeah, they got some bangers out there, man. I was thinking about this the other day, right? We all love different genres of movies, but the one thing that brings us all together is comedies. We love fucking laughing at the end of the day, right? So when you think of recently the comedy movies that we love to watch, whether it's Superbad or 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, shit like that will like never get old for us. And it makes me think back to like the 80s, to like the shit we kind of grew up watching. Would those movies hold up? Now to us, they'll hold up. But like if we was to put that on for a 14, 15-year-old who's never heard of these people, who's never heard nothing about this movie, could they sit there and watch it and find it funny? Now are we talking just comedy cult classics? Yes, just comedies. Because I feel like comedy has went above and beyond over the years, where action is more just like the effects that you can make towards a movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking of like these 80s comedies that will still hold up, I'm thinking shit like Little Shop of Horrors, like Porky's,
Elvira.
All the Police Academies.
Elvira is good. What about like trading? What about Trading Places and fucking Coming to America?
Yes,
You know what I mean?
The Police Academies,
I love Police Academies.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, stop. No, stop it. Stop. Fucking Bernie.
You know what I mean? Big Trouble in Little China, shit like that.
Okay,
like if we was to put that on,
are we counting Big Trouble in Little China as a comedy?
It's funny as fuck.
That was my pick.
More action. It's definitely more action adventure, though.
You think so?
You would.
All right. So is Beverly Hills Cop? Is Beverly Hills Cop comedy or action?
Ooh.
Well,
that's
definitely.
Comedy,
I think it's comedy because
Eddie Murphy's in it.
Because he wasn't really a cop like Blue Streak. I know this is not 80s, but I'm saying it's like even though he was playing a cop, he was really just a comedian with a uniform on.
Although people find it funny, at the time it wasn't billed as a comedy, probably an action.
Right.
I get what he's saying. Yeah, that's.
What about? Did any of you see the movie? It was called Real Genius with Val Kilmer.
Never heard of that.
It sounds familiar, but
he's a genius in college. There's a scientific college, and he's like literally like an off the charts genius. And I won't get all the way into it, but it's fucking hysterical. And Val Kilmer's got to be 20 younger in it. And he kills it. That's a good one.
I mean, dude. So when we think about all these movies, do you think Twins is all right? when you think about all these movies, if we was to show these to a teenager, like 14, 15-year-old, who's never heard of these movies, do you think they will laugh? Do you think those movies can still hold up in 2020?
certain ones, absolutely. Like any teenager's gonna laugh at Coming to America when Prince Hakeem is is sitting in the back of the cab and he turns to Sebi and he goes, "What does dumb fuck mean?" Like, you know what I mean? Any teenager's gonna laugh. Anybody's gonna laugh at that. My fucking 5-year-old would laugh at that. You know what I mean?
It's definitely certain ones because some of them shits is corny, man. You laugh at how corny they are. It's like, yo, he really said that joke.
What about Ghostbusters?
No.
What about the
I wasn't a fan of Ghostbusters.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I like.
That's a good one, right?
It was a good one, but it was definitely more.
But listen, we can look back at it now and look at it and be like, yeah, that shit was corny. But at the end of the day, we're still gonna find it funny because that's what we grew up with,
and we're still gonna like it. Yeah, we grew up with it.
Like we will still talk about fucking Power Rangers and all that shit. That shit is fucking corny. The kids nowadays are like, that shit is corny. But we're never gonna call that shit corny because we
absolutely not, because they're still making them. So they're making like a newer but exactly,
version
there's still like a young aged group that find it.
Yeah, but if you're okay, like if this is how I look at it. I like Power Rangers, but I'm not gonna watch fucking like Power Rangers in space or whatever the fuck it is.
All right, but
I'm gonna watch the original.
The new movie was fire. I'm just gonna throw that out there. The new movie was really good.
But that one was made for the old heads. That was made for
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
That was geared for us?
Oh, absolutely.
It kind of was, but they wasn't hitting them fighting moves like what I wanted to see. They really...
No tornado kicks for Shamel?
They really was getting knocked out. If it wasn't for the suit, they was garbage men. Nah, the old Power Rangers, they was in the dojo after school, man. They not the same. They not built the same. There was an alien, right? The alien just found them, and he said, "Listen, I need somebody." And they was last resort. They were just
Zordon.
There. Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
They was geeks.
Was Kimberly all right? Can we all agree that Kimberly was our first?
Nah.
No.
Nah. Aisha from the movie Mighty Morphin.
I like that's the pink. Yeah, I like the Pink Ranger.
That wasn't my.
You say like first celebrity crush? Is that what you
know?
Yeah, like the first girl where you're watching her and you got a little wiggle in your pants. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Nah, mine.
No.
What was mine? Mine was probably what was her name? Wendy from the Wonder Years. That was probably mine.
What?
You're keeping it to just Power Rangers.
What about?
I thought we were just talking about in general.
Hold on. What about when Topanga grew up a little bit, like in the college years?
Topanga has a big ass titty.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like, I'm not gonna, like you think of the first episode where she comes in the kitchen with the boombox and draws that shit on her face with the lipstick and she's dancing and Corey's looking at her like she's got 10 heads, and then you fast forward 6 years and you're like, yo, what's going on here? Like, you know?
I don't know if Topanga really did that for me. I'm trying to think of when I was a little older to really recognize that stuff. It was probably like Nia Long from Friday. It wasn't no TV.
It wasn't no TV ones?
Nah, not really.
Man.
Now, like
I can't even think of what I was watching.
Shit, if we're gonna talk about older, at least I know with me and probably with Lou too, it would have to be watching wrestling and watching some of these bitches.
Sable.
Like it has to be.
Sable, Lita Hardy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you got me there. That might have been why I was still watching wrestling back then. But I don't know. That shit died out kind of quick for me.
What was that blonde with the big? She was always coming out with. Wasn't she part with Lex Luger? What was her fucking name?
That's a producer.
No, Lex. What?
Oh no, he got his name from the wrestler. Stop that.
Yeah, the dude was definitely Lex Luger.
That's a wrestler.
Absolutely. Yeah, like
who are you talking about? Break this down. I can tell you who you're talking about, but who are you talking about?
Who am I talking about?
Yeah.
Came out.
All right. So there was a blonde. She looked like she could be Pam Anderson's sister. Blonde. That's the one. Yes, 100%. But I feel like at one point she was directly affiliated with Lex Luger. Like they would come out together. They were dating or
Lex
something.
Luger was definitely nowhere near.
No.
WWE.
Scott Steiner. Maybe?
They was on WCW at the time.
Somebody super roided, like the biggest fucking arm vein you ever saw in your life.
Maybe Test.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What about that dude? What about that dude who would come out in a towel and his entrance music?
That's Lou's boy right there.
Venus, right?
Val Venus. He was billed as like an ex-porn star. It was like.
Remember, he slept with the Asian dude's wife, and then the Asian dude paddled her.
Yes,
he paddled her in the ring. I remember that.
Yeah, but what you remember?
Chop pee-pee.
Cut it. Yeah. It made it look like they chopped this thing off and they like cut the video, and then the next week he comes out with Lorena Bobbitt's husband, John Bobbitt or whatever.
Oh my God!
Chopped off. Yeah, they played that angle of it. It was so, man. I remember getting on the bus, going to school the next day, waiting to see BJ, and I was like, oh my God, you think they really cut it off? And BJ was like, I don't know, man. It might have happened. Like, we were legit. Like, you believe that he got.
Oh man!
Hey man, anything was possible back then.
So all right, so in that vein, like, or going back to the original topic, are there? I think absolutely movies from the '80s, comedies from the '80s hold up, and people of the newer generation, the fucking TikTok generation, would absolutely enjoy some of those movies. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They're redoing. They're doing a sequel to Coming to America.
Yeah. I think it was supposed to come out actually this year.
Yeah, it's in pre-production. Pretty sure.
Shit got fucked up with the whole pandemic. But yeah, I mean, I do think some of these movies, man, they need a remake. Just some. I mean, shit like Revenge of the Nerds. Come on, man. With the shit that you can do now.
Love Revenge.
Yeah. But even like, all right, so maybe we should wait to bridge this to the final topic. But like with Netflix, you've got all these, like, there's kids who have these at their disposal now. If you're going through Netflix, like, some of these fucking movies are on there. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, oh, what's this? You know, like, I don't know. I feel like nowadays with technology, like, it's only a couple button clicks away from.
Yeah, but it all depends on the kind of person that you are. Like, a lot of times, if you don't know something, you're not gonna watch it. You're not gonna see what it's about.
Right.
And have that open mind.
You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to comedy. When it comes to action, you're a little more willing. Once you read it, you're a little more willing to see what it's about. Comedy is like, if you don't know people that's in it, a lot of times you don't want to fuck with it.
Yeah, and most of the action stars from then are still kind of doing it. Most, you know what I mean? You got Kurt Russell, you got Sylvester Stallone and Arnold and Bruce Willis and all, you know, Van Damme, Bloodsport. You know what I mean?
Boxer, Lionheart. Oh, I love Van Damme. He can do it.
Wait, I saw he was trying to do something new too.
No, is he?
I saw a poster.
Was it? Didn't they just put out a new kickboxer movie like 2 years ago?
Yeah, but they've been using,
he's not like.
They had
doing anything like a coach or something. Right?
And they're using the new up and coming. You know, they're using Tony Jaa out of Thailand and this British martial arts world champion whose name I can't think of.
If you wasn't scared of Tong Po back in the day,
yeah, but
I don't know what the fuck. Tong Po was a scary motherfucker.
A cement pole or whatever the hell that was. He was shaking the arena. But yeah, they had Batista in the new Kickboxer. They had Batista play Tung Po. I was like, no, absolutely not.
Tung Po was the big Asian dude from.
Yeah, he had the long ponytail.
Kickboxer, yeah,
the long braided the horse braided ponytail.
And then they fought.
But I always get Kickboxer and the Quest mixed up. Because in the Quest, Jean-Claude Van Damme goes to this like fighting arena and fights this dude with this braided ponytail who kills his friend.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
You know what I mean? But that might be 90s. That might not be 80s.
Is it the same dude who played Tung Po?
Oh, I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna look him up and see.
That dude was a real kickboxer too. I think the guy that played Tung Po.
Oh yeah. These are real martial artists motherfuckers, man.
Scary dude, man. Even the guy from Bloodsport. the bad guy from Bloodsport.
Yeah. And it's funny. He's actually, because I think a lot of times they'll try to get a fighter to just play that role. I think he was a legit actor who chose to do like martial arts.
He actually fought Bruce Lee, or like sparred with Bruce Lee, the dude that played the villain in Bloodsport.
Yeah, no. In Quest, the guy was like a Mongol, and his name was Khan, and it's not Tong Po. This dude's way bigger than he's like a giant fucking. And it was 1996.
Okay.
I know Van Damme's a little old now. He's even in that Kickboxer. He was in it, but I don't know what's his name. I think George St. Pierre would make a good if they were to do like a biopic or whatever of Van Damme. I think he'd be awesome for it.
I think Rob Van Dam could have did it back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Because Rob Van Dam did kind of look like him.
He did.
That was his whole thing, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he's fucking too old now. He probably can't even do half of the shit he did back then.
Van Damme did he did a bunch of he featured himself in a lot of the newer versions of like there was a newer version or a continuation of Universal Soldier with this British martial arts champion guy who's been in movies lately, and Van Damme plays the same character as if that character from the original Universal Soldier survived and is still alive today and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? He's done that 4 or 5 times with those franchises he created. You know what I mean?
You know, speaking of him, I actually just saw the other day the movie Street Fighter that I haven't seen in a while.
The one with Gomez Adams as fucking Colonel Bison.
And it's as far as I know, they haven't made another Street Fighter movie.
They did. They did. More recent, back in 08 or 06.
Because I love the Street Fighter movie, but they could have did it so much better.
Yeah, they made it too cartoony. So
moving on, fella. Do we have anything else we want to add to this before we move on?
0.
All right, gentlemen. Final topic for today's episode. I know Aaron posted a topic about old people and having to renew their licenses at a certain age. I will kind of agree, but I'm gonna let him elaborate exactly what he means and what I guess he went through.
I mean, there's a lot that comes, that goes into it, but I'm thinking at a certain age, I believe, based on experiences I've had and shit I've seen, that at a certain age, a person should have to take a remedial driving test. You know what I mean? I know every time you renew your license, they give you, can you see the 5th line down? They check your eyes or whatever. But there's some people out there that shouldn't be driving anymore. And I think that at a certain age you should test them, and then every so often after that they have to keep passing tests, and eventually when they can't drive, and that's something they have to deal with their family. I don't know, you know what I mean? I think something should be something should be put in place.
So what do you think is a good age for them to be okay, time to come to the DMV and take this test?
I want to say 65.
I was thinking that retirement age.
Well,
as soon as this motherfucker tell you can't work no more, you need to take a test for driving too.
Yeah, and if you're good, you're good. You drive on. You know what I mean? But if you're not, well, then you shouldn't be on the road.
Yeah, I agree fully.
I mean, I think we've all experienced some bullshit drivers. Did you experience something just recently?
No, I mean, so many years ago, there was at my buddy's house. He lives on Vassar Road, and we saw an old man in the quintessential old man car, like a Lincoln Town car, veer off the road, and if he was trying to hit the brakes, he wasn't. It was like he was hitting the accelerator instead of the brake, and because the car would go you'd hear the engine pick up, you know what I mean? And he went through 3 or 4 front yards. At a certain point, the driveways are a little higher than the yard, so now he's almost like he's hitting jumps. You know what I mean?
So y'all didn't like Grand Theft Auto it and get in front of him and stop him?
What?
Oh, fuck
Y'all
that. You know what?
Y'all just pulled over and watched him?
We were fucking smoking blunts on the kid's front porch. Like, and that happened. And 3 houses down.
So then are we sure this really happened?
It definitely happened. I have witnesses.
Are we sure this happened?
And what stopped him was like a little. What ended up stopping him was like this little brick wall, like a waist high wall. He just hit that, stopped. You know, and that was it.
So after you came to a complete stop,
my car.
you check on him?
No.
No.
Right.
We just watched, and then those people came outside their house, and the cops came, and there was a fucking dude was old as shit. He looked like Nosferatu driving a car, you know, just like like he was shriveled up, you know. He had no business being in a car. You know, another time at my dad's office, this old lady pulled in, right? And she pulled up to one of the other guys I was working with that day, and she put the window down, and she goes, I don't know where I am. And he goes, what do you mean? Where are you trying to go? She goes, to the DMV, but I don't know where I am. And I guess she had this look on her face that he was like, this bitch really doesn't know where she is. Like, not as in she's lost. She doesn't know where she is. So I'm watching him help her out of the car. She's got no shoes on. She's like this, like she escaped the house and got in the car. You know what I mean? And he brought her in and sat her down. And the lady that works with us, Natalie, he got her, and she came outside and asked the lady some questions and got a phone number off her. And then her son came and picked her up and was like, "Oh my God, we've been looking for her for 2 hours. She has no reason to be going to the DMV. She drove all the way here from Hopewell. Fucking, wow. You know what I mean? Like, wow. So again, I mean, someone not having a driver's license, that nothing would have stopped that lady. It sounds like, but still, there's people out there that shouldn't be fucking driving."
He said,
you know what I mean?
Dementia is real.
Well, that's definitely true. There are some people that really shouldn't. I mean, there's some people that's in their fucking 20s that shouldn't be fucking driving. So, I mean, I definitely hear where you're coming from with that.
He said she had no shoes on. She escaped the house. She escaped the house.
Yo, it's real, though. It's real.
It is. It's just funny the way he said it.
Older people,
I'm
especially
like,
older people that they can't remember things, and they're just like, I gotta go get cat litter, even though the cat died like 3 years ago.
Yo,
and they just like, yo, where's my keys? And I got the car, and that's it. They go out in the nightgown. They didn't change it to day clothes at all. Didn't brush their hair, and they just gone.
I heard a story about a guy who was in his car driving along home from work and fucking just forgot where he lived and forgot where he was going. But he was like a kind of a tough dude and didn't want to stop and ask or pick up the phone. Like his brain just took a shit and he just drove his car around until it fucking ran out of gas.
Speaking of that, even though it has nothing to do with being old, have you guys ever, let's say it was like a 15, 20-minute drive, you guys ever drove on a road or a route so fucking much that you will literally daydream the whole time and then be like, damn, I'm fucking here already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Totally forget how the fuck you even got there. You're just so used to driving on that fucking road.
Yeah, all the time.
Absolutely.
I do that a lot when I'm leaving work. It could be because I'm half asleep too, but
I've literally
thought about that leaving work, but I think it's normal.
I've literally gotten places and then couldn't remember I mean, I was on drugs, but I've gotten to places and been somewhere and been like, yo, how the fuck did I get here? And then my buddies look at me and go, dude, motherfucker, you drove here.
Yeah, that's a little different from what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm just saying.
That's totally different. He went from being tired straight out of work. He said, I was on drugs one time. And
many times.
I drove from New York to South Carolina.
Yeah, no,
that's not no weed.
I fully
That's that booger sugar.
I fully agree with Aaron, though.
Somebody sprinkle some shit on that.
65, maybe. I don't know. I'll give it 70. At 70, you need to be reevaluated every couple of months.
And it's tough, too, because I know people that are 65. I know people that are in their 70s that are with it and that can drive. But you know what?
My dad's 65, and he doesn't look like he's 65. Exactly. My dad's probably a better driver than most people.
But you know what? Take the test, and you're good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of good can come of it, too. Like, all right, so consider this. All these people that they're like, unfortunately, you know, sir, you can't drive anymore. That's one less car fucking driving around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one that'll you know, fucking global warming, carbon footprint, blah, blah, blah. It'll help with that a little bit, maybe. You know?
Yeah.
What it should be taken into consideration is like you have to wait in a certain amount of years before you could get your license. The same is going to happen when you get older. Just because you're 100 don't mean you should be able to drive. Fuck that. There's a beginning time where you have to drive. There should be an end time.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That was a good point. Well said.
Yeah,
you get that last, 15, 20 years. Let's just say everybody gonna make it to 100. All right, you take the test at 65. You good for another 10 years at least, but your brain might turn to pudding. So, it's like just in case.
Yeah, no,
We should take this to the town hall.
Somebody should write a letter.
Like, bring this shit to the Supreme Court.
Strongly worded letter.
The problem is
when you tell your story about the guy driving on the yard, just leave out the drugs. Just be like, listen, sir, we was outside one day at a just be like, we at a bonfire. At a bonfire, motherfucker came flying through yards like a game.
It's crazy though. Fucking half of Congress is older than 65. Half of Congress. You know what I mean? Like
facts. and they love little girls, little weirdos, old weirdos.
Oh man,
that's a weird turn that we went there.
It took one. Well, I think we had a good show.
I think so. We're starting to see Arnold in there. What's up? Where you at? And he on the phone? I'm crazy.
Mel, this is an audio show.
Word. They don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Oh, with that ass? Well, hey, Arnold's
Sorry about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you listened to any of the episodes yet?
Is there a lot of that?
I already took. I'm not until we get famous. Then I'm
at the end, he's always like, "Thanks for watching."
I need a out. I need an out. I gotta say something on the way out.
Oh man.
All right, fellas. So before we close this up, Lou, I think we have like some merch or some shit like that. You wanna?
Yeah. You get in touch with us through the website. Shoot us an email. Gentlemen's Cabal Podcast @gmail.com. We got some limited edition shirts from Shamel's soon to be famous pause quote. That shirt.
It's been out since the 90s. I'm just carrying it along.
Yeah, no, that shirt's up for sale. We got a Gentlemen's Cabal t-shirt, and we also have the Gator face covering.
Oh, I got something to plug.
Yes.
Go ahead, plug your shit.
My cousin Anthony was in a bad motorcycle accident a couple weeks ago, and he's had numerous surgeries, and he's got a long way ahead of him to recover. And it turns out he didn't have health insurance, so his older brother started a GoFundMe page for him. His name is Anthony Capoletti. Don't ask me how to spell it, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
We'll post on the Facebook page.
Maybe we'll put it on. Yeah. We'll do that. We'll get it up there. But any way you can help. There's other links too. There's links to the gift shop at the hospital. You could send him a card and tell him to suck a dick or whatever. He's that kind of kid. Make him laugh. Everybody will be happy. And that's it. Yeah. Just want my cousin to get better. That's all. Thanks.
Absolutely. Feel better, Tony.
Good job, man.
Get better.
Shamel, you got anything you want to
I had a quote yesterday, and because that 24 hours passed, I forgot the shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Stay blessed. Hit it with the
There you go. He's doing the praying hands for everyone who doesn't have the opportunity.
I forgot.
To see
Y'all listening? We're not throwing this on YouTube yet. I forgot. Hey, pray hands. Say blessed up. Pray to the Most High, and don't complain to him because he don't want to hear that shit.
Definitely. All right, well, I think that about wraps up this episode, fellas.
Indeed. All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, man. Y'all be good.
Out.
Peace.